demonstrate with. And then if you look on the back, you can see here it's telling us to use either a 5mm or a 5.5 hook. So I'm going to be using a 5mm hook, mainly just because this is what I prefer. So the first thing we're going to do is we need to take 6 inches roughly. You don't need to measure this, just roughly 6 inches. And then what we're going to do is you're going to take this yarn and you're going to wrap it around your thumb until it gets to the other side. Then you want to pinch those two and let go. So you want to loop. Then what we're going to do is take this yarn and you're going to push it from the back side through, okay? Now I'm going to let go of my loop and grab this and grab both of these yarns and pull. So you're just pulling in the opposite direction. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pull the two ends and make it a little bit smaller. Okay? Pretty much you want it to just be enough where your hook will fit through here but not fall off. So we're going to take this hook so you can see roughly how much space. This is still a little bit too much. So I'm going to pull this a little bit more. Okay. So that's probably good. You just want it to be able to move around on your hook. So now the next part is going to be holding your yarn. This is going to be done multiple different ways depending on who you talk to, but I'm going to show you how I was taught. So one end is the shorter end. We can put that to the side. You're going to want to take the longer end, put your palm up, and this is going to wrap on top of your pinky. And you're going to keep going around until it's looped. Now I'm going to put my hand flat and take my pointer finger and go underneath. Okay? So now I've got it on top of my pinky and over top of my pointer finger. Then you're going to rotate your hand back and pinch with your middle finger and your thumb. So now on to doing the actual project. So the first thing we need to do is make a chain. With your hook facing up, you're going to grab the yarn. Then you're going to rotate it down and you're going to just pull it straight through the hole and back up. So I'm going to go even slower. So with your hook facing up, you're going to grab the yarn. Then you're going to rotate it down and you're going to pull it back through the loop. Now rotate up. You're going to grab the yarn with the hook facing up, rotate down, pull back through the hole. Now my tension's too tight, that's why it's getting stuck. So try to keep this, you're going to have to practice the tension. It's going to be the hardest part of this project. So we are going to grab the yarn with the hook facing up, rotate down, and then pull it back through the hole, rotate back up. The reason why it's so crucial for you to keep rotating is because watch what happens. If I try to pull this, it's going to get stuck. Okay, so when you rotate down and pull it through, it keeps it from falling off. Also, if I don't rotate back up and I try to go back, it's going to fall off again. Okay, so just keep doing that. If you need to pause the video and rewind it, please do so. But just keep doing this depending on how long you want your project. So for this demonstration, we'll pretend we're doing a scarf. So I'm going to do 17 chains, 15 for the actual project, and 2 for when we get to the ends. So now I've completed my chain. Don't worry that it looks like this. It will not look like this once you get going. Okay, so now we're at the end, and we need to start our first row. So what we're going to do is very similar to what we were just doing for the chain. Okay, but what we're going to do first is you're going to go into the second hole. So this is where it gets tricky, and I'm going to try to go really slow and we'll zoom in on it. When you're looking at this, you kind of see, I don't know if you can see, they're like V's, right? So the base of the V, where one meets the other one, that's where the hole is. So we don't want to go in this first one. Try to pull this, it's going to get stuck. Okay, so when you rotate down and pull it through, it keeps it from falling off. Also, if I don't rotate back up and I try to go back, it's going to fall off again. Okay, so just keep doing that. If you need to pause the video and rewind it, please do so. But just keep doing this depending on how long you want your project. So for this demonstration, we'll pretend we're doing a scarf. So I'm going to do 17 chains, 15 for the actual project, and 2 for when we get to the ends. So now I've completed my chain. Don't worry that it looks like this. It will not look like this once you get going. Okay, so now we're at the end, and we need to start our first row. So what we're going to do is very similar to what so we want to go into this second one. So what we're going to do is take this hook, okay, this hole right here. So if you can see, this is 1, 2. We're gonna go right into this hole until it comes out the other side. Once that comes out the other side, you're gonna do the same thing you just did. You're gonna, with the hook facing up, grab it and turn down. Okay, kind of did that at the same time. And it's gonna pull back through the same hole, and you shouldn't have any issues as long as your hook's down. Now you're gonna need to rotate everything up. So I am gonna do this multiple times because obviously that is like a lot of steps. But you should have 2 on, and then what you just do is same thing, grab it with it facing up, rotate it down, pull it back through both now, and rotate up. Okay, so let me do that again. So this, you can kind of see this next, so you can kind of see holes at the top. We don't want these top ones. You want to go base of the V where one meets the other one, that's where the hole is. So we're gonna go right into there, and I'm just holding my finger on the back for support. But once it comes out the other side, you're gonna grab with your hook up and rotate down, and now pull it back through the same hole, okay? Now grab your project and kind of just rotate it up. So we're gonna hook with it facing up, rotate down, pull through both, and rotate up. Okay, let's do that again. We're gonna go in there, and it's gonna come out the other side, okay? Then you're gonna grab this yarn down, pull it straight back through the same hole, and when you get here, just stop for a second. And just take your yarn and just kind of spin it around so you can see what you're doing. Now you're gonna grab it again, hook facing down, pull it through both, hook face up. Okay, let's do one more. So we're gonna go into this next hole right here. So the hook's gonna go through there. It'll come out the other side. You're gonna grab the yarn, hook facing down, pull back through the hole, okay? Spin your work so that it's facing up. Then grab with the hook up, turn down, pull through both, hook up. It's gonna look messy. I know this looks really odd, but if you look at the first two where I'm not pulling and stretching it, you can kind of see what it's gonna start to look like. And these holes at the bottom here will go away. Your work will start pulling down as you keep going. So I'm just gonna go, not as slow, but just slowly so you can kind of get an idea and just watch me for a second. Okay, so we're gonna go in the hole, hook it, pull it back through, hook through both. Okay, in the next hole, hook it, pull it back through, hook, pull it through both. Next hole, hook. Shape up though, like even just kind of giving it a little tug, it'll already start straightening out. So now I'm going to show you how to do the next row. So what you just need to do is chain one. So we're going to hook with the hook facing up, rotate down, pull that through. Okay. Now you want to flip your work, which just means we're going to just turn it over like this. You may have to take your hook out. You always want to go from right to left. Hold on to. So now you're going to want to grab your yarn again. So put your hand flat up, palms up, wrap it around your pinky until it's the other side. Put your palm down, pointer finger goes under, and then palm back up. Now pinch with your middle finger and your thumb. Now, when I say pinch with your thumb and your middle finger, at first you can do it definitely here, but once you start your project, it should be on the project itself. So now we're gonna go into the top of these. This is not the technical term, but just to make it easier, I call them kind of like bumps. So if you kind of see, it's like one bump, and this is a bump, this is a bump, this is a bump. And you see how there's like a little divot in between? You wanna go in between those bumps. So what we're gonna do is in this very first bump right here, so here's one little bump and there's the other one. So right in between, you're just gonna put the hook right in there. So it comes out the other side, and with the hook facing up, grab it and rotate down and pull it right back through that same hole. Okay, so again, you have to rotate your work to see it, and you have two. So then you're gonna hook with it facing up, turn it down, pull it through both, rotate back up, okay? Now we're gonna go to the next one. So if I'm holding it here, you can kind of see there's one bump, two. We're going right in the middle. So we're gonna go right in the middle of that until it comes out the other side, and then grab it and rotate down and pull it back through the same hole. Now just kind of spin your work a little bit so you have two. Now you're gonna grab it with the hook facing up, rotate down, pull it back through both, rotate up. Okay, next set of bumps, you can kind of see there's one there, one there. So you're gonna go right in between. And then when it comes out the other side, you're gonna grab the yarn, hook facing down, pull it back through. Spin your work a little bit, hook should be facing up. Now grab the yarn, hook face down, pull it back through, hook goes up. So you're starting to see what it looks like when you do the second row. And honestly, that's pretty much it. You can rewatch this video, go back and forth, but all you're gonna do is go back and forth, back and forth. So let me just get to the end. I'm gonna show you one more time how to finish the row and turn your work. All right, so we've come to the end, but I still have one more. I wanted to show you this because again, this can get a little tricky. So it kind of looks like you can kind of tell that I'm missing one, but it's really hard to see this last one. And I know it looks kind of messy, but do you see how this one is going over like this? It's kind of like right in there, like right at the base of it. So if you see this one going over like a curve, it's right there. It's like nestled underneath it. You're gonna go, and it's like I said, just kind of go on an angle, and you may have to just kind of like wiggle your hook in there, but it's right at the base of that curve. And then when it comes out the other side, you're gonna hook and pull it right back through like you've been doing, okay? Now, this is a good example. I just accidentally hooked multiple pieces. I don't know if you can see that. There's an extra one on there that shouldn't be. So all we're gonna do is just undo this. I'm gonna pull that back. Now, if you run into this where you see it's like, now it's like a hot mess. So what we're gonna do is you just kind of wanna try to shape this, if that helps. And actually by doing that, you can kind of see the hole. There it is right there. But I'm just kind of shaping it, getting the yarn to go back down so it's a little bit easier. So I'm gonna go, and it's right underneath this curved yarn. So when it comes out the other side, we're going to hook, pull it back through, rotate your work a little bit. Now grab this, pull it back through both, and there you go. So here's the other thing. Do you see how it's curling? This is very normal. You're probably like, what is going on? It's gonna do this until you get a few rows going. You do want to try to straighten it though, just kind of like uncurl it and pinch it and try to reshape it a little bit. But if you see it start curling, don't freak out. It does that all the time. So let me show you how to go to the next row. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna chain one. So grab it and pull that back through, okay? Now we're gonna rotate it, so I'm gonna flip it and bring this over here. Now we're gonna start the next row. So same thing, it should look exactly like you just did it. You can see those little bumps and everything. The main thing you wanna do though is make sure you start at the very base of this first one. So a lot of people, what they do is they go into the first set right here where these two bumps are, but they forget the first one. So right at the base, this is your first bump right here, right on the very end. So you don't want to forget that very, very first one right there. Then go to this one. You want to go right in here into that first one. Then with your hook facing down, pull it back through. Do a little spin if you need to. and then you're gonna hook with it facing up, turn it down, pull it back through, turn up. So now here's 1 and 2 with the little bumps. I'm gonna go right in the middle. So you're gonna go right through there. When it comes out the other side, you're gonna hook it, pull it right back to that same hole. You can push this to spin it around if you need to. And then you're gonna hook and pull it through both, turn your hook up. Now, I'm not using any technical terms at all, because if you are watching this and you are a beginner, I just want you to get the hang of it. Then you can watch my other videos to see, what things are called. These are called posts, chaining. These aren't called bumps. I'm just calling them that because it's a lot easier to explain it. So things like that, but just get the idea, the general idea of how to do a single crochet. Feel free, like I said, to rewind this, go back and rewatch it, so that you can see how to do it over and over. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you